So, welcome to round 3's notebook for the Ginetta Junior GT5 Championship for Next Gen Season 12. The championship sponsored by Emily Linscott, who's offered a nice little prize of a cap for the winner and some stickers for the podium positions of the championship. Now, for round 3, the guys went to Le Mans Bugatti, which in my opinion isn't the best circuit to drive, not the nicest of flow, but some good action nonetheless. Going into the first race, which was the 5-lap sprint, Adam Morris took pole position with a 1:48.909. A very good time, in my opinion, with the GT5s. Then you had Boyrax, Liam at Thurso, AMH Racing, Jamie FL30, Cam123 Diz, RS Jim 77, Sandwalk was in 8th, Fraser, a bad qualifying for him, in 9th, Radovan 80 was in 10th, Afcape was in 11th, Shockshaft was 12th, Jeff Lepp 13th, and Yorkshire Stig 14th, with Shadow Stalker in 15th. So we get to the start, and Boyraxer gets a really good start, and he immediately into position 1 off the line. A much better launch, and a good start from Cam as well. He went up 3 places to 3rd after qualifying in 6th. So really good start for certain drivers there. As the race went on, it got a little bit more mischievous. As we're going through the first corner, Liam at Thurso got pushed wide into the gravel. That dropped him down the order, and then Cam went wide at the first hairpin right. That put him down to position number 10. Afcape, amazing start again from the number 24 machine. He went up to P6 and then up into P5. He overtook RS Jim into the final sector. Really good move, in my opinion. However, he did lose the back end in that final sector, spun the car, and multiple cars collected in it. 2 of them on the roof, I remember. It was unbelievable scenes. Really interesting to see. That then put Afcape down into P14, and Yorkshire Stig retired on the first lap. So definitely something to work on there for Afcape, I think. Just trying to keep the rear end in check around corners. Afcape then retired on lap number 2, whilst everyone else was single file. And then lap 3 it all starts to kick off. AMH overtook Adam for 2nd place. Cam went up into position 5 with Liam into P6, both of them passing Sandwalk 3, who was running in a very good 5th position, considering he started 8th and went up 3 places in the first couple of laps. Then you had a quiet lap 4 in reality. Lap 5, it all kicked off again. Jim ran wide out the final corner trying to overtake Shockshaft it was. He ran wide into the gravel, and that lost him a place to Fraser, so Fraser went up into P number 9. Adam and AMH were having a great battle, and Adam ended up going up into 2nd place. AMH then had to fend off Jamie for 3rd, and Liam ended up passing Cam on that final lap for position 5. So the end race results, and Boyrax continued his perfect start, quite frankly. He won the race. Adam Morris came home in 2nd with AMH 3rd. Good stuff there from him. Jamie into 4th. Liam, slightly disappointed maybe the fact that he got pushed wide, went down to 5th. Cam stayed in 6th. Shockshaft, a good result from 7th. He started in 12th. He went up 5 positions. Fraser ended up in 8th. RS Jim, not a brilliant race for him, in 9th. Sandwalk was in 10th, with Radovan in 11th. Shadow Stalker, a good race from him, from 15th to 12th. Jeff Lepp, 69, stayed 13th. Afcape obviously retired lap 2, and Yorkshire Stig, I think, forgot to ready up, so he didn't actually participate in the race, which I think he's learnt for the future. Going on then into the second race at 21 laps. This was Fraser qualified on pole with 150.344. Now, bear in mind that the quality for race 1 was a 148.9, so not a brilliant lap in reality. But got in pole position. Cam got second, Sandwalk third. RS Jim 77 was fourth, Radovan fifth, Jeff Lepp was in 6th, Shockshaft 7th, Yorkshire Stig 8th, Avcape 9th, Shadow Stalker was 10th, and last of the qualifiers. Lima Thurso, AMH, Adam Morris, Boy Raxer and Jamie didn't qualify as per the rules. They finished top 5 in the last in the last race. So we move on to the race then. Lap 1 of 21, and Adam Morris and Avcape had a bit of a tangle but got away with it. Everyone got away cleanly, no real mistakes from anyone. Very, very quiet until near the end of the lap when Avcape and Adam Morris, coming out of the double 90 right, ended up spinning. Almost spinning. They both went onto the grass and lost time, but just about both of them got away with it. Just about. Liam went up to P6 in that first lap. He was amazing to watch, up 5 places in just one lap. Cam ended up down in 5th after don't know what actually happened to him. I don't know whether he ran wide or spun, but he went down to 5th after lap 1. Going on to lap number 2, AMH was passed by Jamie and Boy Raxer for 9th, whilst Liam moved up into 5th, passing Cam. Jamie ended up passing Shockshaft for P8, and Cam and Jeff Lepp spun in the last sector. Don't know whether it was a tangle or whether it was just both of them just happened to spin, but both of those lost positions because of it. On to lap 3, and Sandwalk spun. Liam, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time again for him. He had nowhere to go and ended up T-boning Sandwalk, and Jamie benefited from that, moving up into 3rd place. Shockshaft then spun at the hairpin left after it. Then Sandwalk spun again on lap 3, but otherwise not much happening really on lap number 3. Lap 4, Boy Raxer went up to position 7 as he passed Radovan. Lap 5, Avcape passed Yorkshire Stig for 9th. Adam Morris went up to position 4, Liam up to position 3, whilst Jim lost places and went down to 5th. AMH passed Jim for 5th place then on lap number 6, and then Boy Raxer passed Jim for position 6 on lap 6 as well. It was not a good lap really for Jim. Not a good couple of laps. I don't think he really enjoys this circuit, to be honest. On to lap 7, Adam Morris ended up passing Jamie for 2nd place, and then Jamie then got passed on lap 8 by AMH for 3rd. So the biggest issue here for Jamie was that chicane was most definitely an issue for him. He couldn't, whenever he was on the inside, he couldn't lay the traction down. So not easy at all. Skip a couple of laps to lap number 10. Nothing happened on lap number 9 in my opinion. Lap 10, Fraser went on the grass. It was a really weird one as well. He coming down the hill into the hairpin right after the first chicane at Bugatti. His car just suddenly went left onto the grass, and he then lost 1st and 2nd place to Adam Morris and Boy Raxer respectively. Thanks to that. So he wasn't very, I don't think he was really happy with himself, and then he got overtaken by Jamie for good measure later on in the lap for 3rd. On to lap 11, Liam had pitted on, I think it was like lap 9 or 10. I think it was lap 9 Liam ended up pitting on. And he actually came out of that a net position 1. He was in a net leading position because he'd overtaken every car that Adam Morris, Boy Rexer, Jamie, AMH, he'd overtaken them all on the undercut. It was a massive, massive undercut at Bugatti. However, it didn't last long. Coming into the chicane, Adam Morris instantly on the attack and finished the move at the hairpin right. Really, really good racing, but Adam Morris then put himself back up into the net leading position, which is quite good to watch. Moving on to lap number 12, Jamie lost 5th to AMH. It's a really good race-long battle between the top 5. Then on lap 13, Jamie then re-overtook AMH, and that was for fourth place because one of the people ahead who hadn't pitted did come in the pit, and obviously everyone moves up one. But he replied to AMH on the very next lap, which was good to see. Then Jamie ended up passing Boy Rexer for 3rd place. Boy Rexer did, and that was at the chicane, Boy Rexer did attempt to get it back at the hairpin right down the hill. We ended up tapping Jamie slightly, and Boy Rexer actually lost the back end onto the grass, and that meant AMH overtook him. So AMH moved up into 4th and Boy Rexer into 5th. To lap 15, AMH then overtook Jamie for 3rd place, and again Jamie loses the rear end at the chicane, and Boy Rexer moves up again into 4th. So really a good drive between those three. Really, really good battle. You basically had, at this point, Adam Morris and Liam going for the win, and you had AMH, Boy Rexer, and Jamie trying to scrap it out for the final position on the podium. But on to lap 16, and Boy Rexer actually ended up passing AMH for 3rd place. Really, really good to good overtake. Very, very clean. But we moved further down the field onto lap number 20 because everything got a bit spread out then, a bit more quiet, a bit more follow the leader. And onto lap number 20, Raider Van caught Yorkshire Stig, and it was a brilliant battle to watch. I mean, it was only for 7th place. Bear that in mind, it was only for 7th, but the battle was brilliant to watch. Yorkshire Stig was defending very, very well. And Raider Van ended up making the move on the same lap. I think it was down at the double chicane. The double right-hander at the bottom of the track. Just managed to get the move sorted. Yeah, good little battle to see at the near the midfield of the pack of cars, really. But in general, Adam and Liam were battling. Boy Rexer and AMH were having a good battle at the end as well. But no overtakes were made between anyone really between lap 16 to 20 until Raider Van made a move on Yorkshire Stig. But it meant that Adam Morris was the first man, other than Boy Rexer, to win a race here at the Ginettas. He won race number 6 of the season out of 24, because there's 12 rounds and 2 races each. So he ended up winning the race, followed by Liam at Thurso. Boy Rexer 14 came home in 3rd, so a good, in reality, quite a good meeting for Boy Rexer, a 1st and a 3rd. Not quite as good as Adam Morris's 1st and 2nd though, so Adam Morris definitely pulling a few points back. AMH ended up 4th at Jamie in 5th. RS Jim was in 6th, the Raider Van in 7th. Yorkshire Stig a very, very good result in 8th place. Sandrock 3rd, Jeff Lett was in 10th. Shockshaft 11th, Shadow Stalker DBS was 12th, and then we get into the guys who, quite frankly, was unlucky, to say the least, in my opinion. Afcape had a bad pit stop. They only changed 2 of his tyres rather than 4, so he ended up retiring. Fraser had a bad pit stop with tyres as well, so he ended up retiring, and Cam just ended up retiring on lap 7 or 8. So moving on to some of the drivers' opinions for the night. Boy Rexer, the first one to answer some questions. He thought round 3 wasn't too bad for him. He got a double podium, which is, as he says, solid points. First couple of laps in race 2, he had a bit of door rubbing, but apart from that, it was mostly fine. So proper touring cars, really. Rating the overall race an 8. He thinks Dubai isn't a bad track, however, slipstream will be critical, so it could be quite frustrating at the same time. And his expectations are around 4. He's saying anything can happen around there with the slipstream. So he's expecting the field to be quite close during the races. AMH he said another disappointing week for him. Little mistakes just costing him the chance of winning races. Just saying that small slides are really to blame at the moment. He rated the overall an 8, so that's not too bad. He enjoys Dubai. He said it's one of his hunting grounds in the past, so one to look out for, really. And his expectations around 4, he just went, surely I've got to win one this time. Liam Thurso, he said he made the most of what he was given. He did have some instances of problems. He said race 1 cam pushed him off, and his chance of what could be a possible win. Race 2 he had 2 instances with sandwalk on 1 lap, both apparently his fault. But again, making sure he doesn't win the race. Out of 10, he rated it an 8, so still a good, enjoyable night really for him. He doesn't enjoy Dubai. He's never been fast there in GT cars, and he has no idea about the Ginettas, but I don't think he's around for this one, last time I heard. Expectations for round 4 would be to try not get involved with silly instances, but again, his aim is always 2 podiums, as it's about consistency in this championship. Sandwalk 3 said round 3 went reasonably well for himself. Race 1 he had a solid start apart from a spin on that one. Race 2 again great start up to 2nd, and then he spun to 4th and then got spun around down to almost last apparently, but came back to inside the top 10, so it could have been worse. Any instance problems for him? He said only really myself spinning a few times. Rated an 8. He says he's not a particular favourite track for Dubai of his, but he has driven it before, unlike the Bugatti circuit, so step in the right direction for him. And his expectations is not to spin so much, but he's aiming for top 8, which is very, very doable. Af Cape, a very unlucky night. He thought round 3 went bad. Obviously he had the incident where he spun and took out half the field with him. Rated the race a 1, and I can see why, to be fair. He's never driven Dubai, so anything can happen, and his expectations for round 4 is just points. He just wants some points on the board. Yorkshire Stig missed the first race due to not readying up, but the second race for him went very well. 8th in the end, not 7th, so he's pretty pleased with that. Yeah, didn't have any incidents or problems, which are good. Rated it a 7. He's tried the Dubai track during the day. He said it was just awful, and he's hoping to stay off last place, so anything higher than whoever is last. Shockshaft, he thought first good race, and the second race he had trouble with front tyre wear, so he finished lower than he had hoped for. Just tyre wear was the instant problem for him. He rated at 6, so not too bad, not brilliant though. He's never raced at Dubai, so he wants to get some practice in, and he's looking for a top 10, maybe around 6th if things go well for him. Now, we've had someone complete the question set as a spectator. See, hopefully you'll remember back from Brands Hatch GP, Seats 44 joined me in the commentary box, and he's answered a few questions. He said that round 3 was enjoyable for the most part, but dull at times, and yeah, I kind of have to agree with him there. Did he have any instance of problems? He said he had an intermittent Wi-Fi signal, so a lot of buffering. Rated the racing a 7 though, so good for spectating purposes there. So Dubai, he says it's personally not one of his favourites, but he did get one of his best results there in another series. But for the GT5s, he doesn't think it will suit it. And his expectations for round 4 are that the top 5 will pull away again, and will be big gaps down the field, although he hopes he's wrong. So obviously, round number 4 is tonight. It is at Dubai International. So please do join us tonight for that, and from me and everyone at the Ginettas, thank you to Emily and Scott for sponsoring the event. But from me, until round 4 at Dubai, thank you for listening, and goodbye.